you see my screen? Uh, Thumbs up if you can see my screen.
Almost.
Okay, great. What's up, Journal? My name's Shehraan. I'm from Toronto, Canada. I'm a 17-year-old AI developer, and I'm so happy to have the opportunity to present my group's idea to you. By choosing our solution, Microsoft will have the opportunity to save $2 billion across data centers globally through this technology known as voltage underscaling, also known as undervolting. So, currently, Microsoft GPUs use up to 20% more voltage than necessary. Our solution to that is to actually test and optimize the GPU's energy usage so that we're able to make sure every GPU runs at its peak efficiency. And not only does this give us huge monetary savings, but we also save 5,900 metric tons of CO2 emissions in just US data centers alone. So to elaborate more on the problem, GPUs, as I mentioned, are given around 20% more voltage than necessary. And this is primarily because of voltage guard bands, which are put into place by GPU manufacturers. Basically, voltage guard bands tell all the GPUs to run at really high voltages so that every single one of them can meet performance requirements. Thing is, 99% of these GPUs can run at that same level of performance while using less energy. However, just to accommodate the 1% that can't, and so that they don't have to face any warranty claims or returns, they instead make every single GPU run at those really high voltages. They do this for a few reasons. Primarily, there's chip hardware differences, which is the fact that every single chip is different. And this makes them able to operate at different energy levels. And another big factor is voltage noise. So voltage noise is basically the difference in voltage peaks that can cause errors to occur. These are being limited using these voltage guard bands because they aim to accommodate those peak usages. So our recommendation to you is to use a software that is created in-house that automatically optimizes these voltages. So we already have this automatic voltage software called AMD Adrenalin. However, that software only works on individual GPUs. And on top of that, only works on AMD GPUs. We want to implement it across all data centers and on all GPUs. And to do that, we will need software that can undervolt and test GPUs en masse. So to see if our solution actually works, me and my team actually undervolted our own GPUs, and we all saw at least a 10% decrease at energy usage at peak performance. And now you might think, hold on, this peak performance itself would be lower now, right? No, we ran a stability test called OCCT, which is well known for pushing GPUs to its limits. And we discovered that our undervolting, while it did decrease energy usage, still kept performance at the same level as it was prior to any modification. And you don't have to believe our word on this. Take the word of researchers who have ran AI workloads on undervolted GPUs, and they found between 16.9% to even 42% less energy usage on undervolted GPUs, which again, still put out the same levels of performance. And not only do researchers agree with us, but also a lot of experts agree that undervolting has great potential to reduce energy usage and cooling needs. However, in order to implement this software, we're going to have to first begin with R&D, which will take about 2 months. And then we advance to the software development, which lasts for about 3 months. As avid coders ourselves, some of us can also help you guys implement this over the summer if you're interested. But after the software development, we'll go through the trial testing for 7 months. And then once that's done, we'll finally be able to globalize the software and expand it to all data centers across the world. And as I mentioned earlier, our software actually saves $2 billion within Microsoft's data centers. And a huge portion of this comes from GPU electricity costs, where Microsoft can save $1.75 billion, as well as cooling electricity costs, where Microsoft can save $600 million, since the chips will now run cooler due to the decreased voltages. And on a more personal note, we really had a great experience waking up and grinding at 6 a.m. on this challenge. And we're really looking forward to hearing from you in the future. And of course, if you have any questions, let me know. I'm happy to answer. Thank you.
Cool, Shehraan. Love the energy. I'm also from Toronto, so like that. But no, I mean the idea is very clear. Firstly, I really appreciate the exact summary at the beginning. I mean, it just helped me wrap my head around the journey you were going to take me on. So like that was very much appreciated. I feel like that's pretty standard nowadays in like executive presentations. Not that I'm an executive, I'm just saying like it really helps. It just set the roadmap for what I was gonna be like get ready for, and it allowed me to just like calibrate and make sure, okay, yeah, it just gave me a good lay of the land. So really appreciate that. Your energy was great. I mean, you were excited, I could tell. Those 6 a.m.
Thank
nights,
you.
I'm sure they really kept you energized. 6 a.m. mornings. So tons of questions, but not because it's like a bad, it's actually like the idea makes sense. But I do have like questions. Let's see.
Of course.
So firstly, I mean, because I have more questions because I probably like had to deal with this. I was working with NVIDIA and I've had lots of conversations with NVIDIA, and then they like NVIDIA has their own software that they have
Mhm.
available for like something we call generative AI for enterprise, and then we have our own. So Microsoft has their own, they have their own. And their claim is that like, hey, ours is more optimized for the chips. So I guess my first thing is, have you looked at whether or not NVIDIA actually has already created something like this internally in-house? It sounds like AMD has something.
Mhm.
So I was just curious if you had looked into whether NVIDIA has this, uses it in-house for themselves. I haven't looked personally, I'm just asking. This like over voltage software.
Yeah, yeah. So NVIDIA, they do have similar software, but that is more so manual. And it's also, of course, they do not exactly encourage using manual software, whereas we propose automatic software. We actually on the slide where we do talk about the software proposal, we suggest integrating into your data center GPU manager. So the same technology you mentioned,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was the question I had. I'm like, why don't we have this at Microsoft? And like, and I didn't really get a proper answer. But anyway, yes. So that makes sense. The line of thinking. If NVIDIA has it, if AMD has it, like, why can't we just do it? And that's what you're suggesting here, like incorporating that into like an in-house software.
right. I
Uh,
think my friend might have a better answer.
Yeah.
Hang in.
So just to add on, I believe like the main reason they aren't sort of working on this stuff is because there's sort of a stigma towards undervoting because it sounds scary, but because it's so scary, no one really worked towards it and researchers if it's actually safe or not. And what the
mhm.
researchers found was that it actually was completely safe. So it's sort of a
Yeah.
low-hanging fruit that we found.
Yeah, 100%. And like a few, so the in-house software makes sense. And the software, the AMD Adrenalin software, like it's been used for single GPUs. But long term, I think my long term concerns, and this is where it comes into like liability, consumer stuff. Like people are, you can't trust people to they'll do stuff that's crazy. So for instance, my key, and I'm not sure if you guys dug deeper into this, like the cost saved through energy efficiency, would those potentially offset the costs related to warranty? Um, what else did I say here? Warranty claims, the costs passed down to building the software. Like, did you weigh building the software, the warranty claims versus energy efficiency saved? Did it balance out? Did it win? What was the
Yeah, yeah.
timeline for
No,
that break
it
even?
was a huge difference. Like just to create this software at the first place, since it's software as a service, it's pretty easy, less than even like 10 million, where even implementing it is very, very cheap. And then on the other hand, you have the huge potential $2 billion per year. And this is as very fast to implement as well. So in that terms, it's really easy battle.
Yeah. Did you guys crunch the numbers? I'm not asking to see them. I'm just making sure that you guys thought about that. Like you
Oh
deep
yeah,
dove into
we do
those sort
actually.
of projections or something. I don't know, just friendly.
Yeah, if you want to look at it, we actually have the cost breakdown over here on a Notion page. You can
Perfect.
check out the full data center cost breakdown or the investment breakdown, anything you'd like to see.
Cool. I just want to make sure you did your due diligence, so that's good. Awesome. Check. I really liked your timeline for implementation. You started small, scaled it, proposed a team, resourcing, all that stuff. Super, like it really makes it tangible. You know, it's like, yeah, I could start this tomorrow. And then you start with probably one data center, scale it, etc. So yeah, I really like the timeline too. So yeah, those are my comments. Thank you.